Hello, welcome. I'd like to give an introduction, first of all, just to who we are. The Carbon Trust is a not-for-profit company with a mission to accelerate the move to a sustainable, low-carbon economy. We achieve our mission in many ways, but here in Northern Ireland, we contribute to it by delivering the Energy Efficiency Loan Fund on behalf of Invest Northern Ireland. So energy efficiency in general. In many businesses, energy is a substantial proportion of costs. It's sometimes mistakenly regarded as a fixed overhead. However, it's actually one of the easiest costs for a business to manage. Addressing the issue of energy use can help to reduce costs and improve competitiveness, but it brings other benefits too, such as a more pleasant working environment and better managed processes. Being seen as environmentally responsible can also bring public relations benefits and provide a marketing advantage. The biggest barriers to implementing energy efficiency projects are often choosing a supplier and accessing finance, and this is where we can help. The Energy Efficiency Loan Scheme since its inception in 2003 has provided funding for over 1,300 projects with an excess of 44 million offers delivered by us at the Carbon Trust with £12 million in funding from Invest Northern Ireland over the years. The scheme recycles the money in the repayments and loans it back out, providing interest-free, unsecured loans free of charge to the customer. We can provide funding for many projects, but they must deliver an on-site fossil fuel use saving at an existing site. There's various technologies which provide opportunities for energy saving, but the top 5 that receive funding from us would be lighting. We have provided loans of over £13.5 million towards lighting, and it's often what we see as a gateway project. People will do the lighting first and actually see that it works. They are enjoying their savings, and then look at other opportunities in the business to save money. Next is heating, ventilation and air conditioning. We've provided over £6 million in loans for that technology. Over £5 million towards renewables, which includes energy from waste, wind generation and solar PV and biomass. Process heating and cooling, £4 million have gone to that, and over £3 million in refrigeration projects. So think about where you might like to make savings. Do you see lights on after everyone's left for the evening? Are you heating rooms that are unoccupied? Can you hear air leaks in the workshop? Or has the production equipment seen better days? Choosing a supplier, the scale of the project will determine the most appropriate procurement method. For larger, more complex projects, you might wish to invest time in a detailed specification for a tender process. For smaller, simpler projects, you may wish to source a number of quotes from suppliers and see who offers the best solution. So when you're choosing a supplier, the things that you may consider are the equipment itself, its energy performance, how much energy does it use, is it the most efficient at the performance level that you require, operational performance, does it provide the output you require, is it sized appropriately, and can the performance be adjusted, what level of warranty is the equipment offered under, and how does it need to be maintained, how often can this be done by you, or would you have to bring somebody else in to do it? And is the equipment on the energy technology list? This is a list of over 16,000 items from nearly 60 technologies, which includes things like boilers, electric motors, lighting, refrigeration systems. The energy technology list qualifying criteria can be used as a procurement specification for businesses, and that would better define the product performance characteristics prior to and during discussions with suppliers. If equipment's on this list, it then lets you access enhanced capital allowances, which is something that your accountants would be familiar with, and it provides a first year 100% accredited capital allowance, which enables you to set off the cost against taxable profits for that year. Another thing to consider about your supplier is the location. Are they local? Are they accessible through a network? Will they be able to service the equipment or respond to breakdowns in a timely manner? And the reputation and the brand of your supplier. Does the brand of the technology have a good reputation? Does a quick internet search return any feedback on the supplier or the equipment? Do you know anybody who's used them previously, and what are their reviews? The lead time, when would a supplier be able to deliver or install the equipment? And after-sales support, it's always important. Is there a helpline or technical advisors available to support post-installation? And does the supplier perhaps have any memberships or certifications with professional bodies, or anything of a quality management standard? For the loan scheme itself, the supplier choice is yours. However, the Carbon Trust has a pool of accredited suppliers who have met or exceeded a certain level of standard and competency. and they can be found on our website under our Green Business Directory. So if you've identified some opportunities, you've chosen your supplier, and now you need to find the money to implement the project, and that is where we come in. The Energy Efficiency Loan Scheme can provide businesses in Northern Ireland with up to £400,000 in interest-free funding to support the investment in more energy-efficient equipment. Since the scheme started, we have provided over 1,300 loans totaling £44 million towards projects valued in excess of £78 million, and they are delivering cash savings of £20 million per annum every year. You can apply online at any time, and with the information to hand, it should only take you, 15 minutes tops. It's not a difficult process, and the savings can be shown by your supplier on their supporting documentation. You just copy them in to the application form, put some details in on the company, and press submit, and the rest goes from there. So, to apply, you will need a quotation which matches our guidelines. We have a leaflet called How to Tick All the Boxes, which is useful for your supplier to show what we need to see on that quotation. Some energy saving calculations, again, we ask your supplier to provide them for you. They can download a template from our website and complete it on your behalf. We like to know what energy use is at the moment, because we're going to base the loan scheme on the savings from the actual use. So either a summary of the cost in kilowatt hours from the last 12 months, or sometimes, depending on your provider, the most recent bill will show you the previous 12 months use at the bottom. We need a business bank statement. We don't need to see your transactions. We're not interested in how much money you have. We only ask for this to verify that the money is going to a valid business account at the time of disbursement. And a completed beneficial owners form, which again can be downloaded from the website. The application itself is done online via our website on our loans page, carbontrust.com/NI. You scroll down to how to apply, click on the button to apply now, and then complete all the sections of the form before uploading your supporting document to it and clicking submit. As I said, with the information to hand, it really shouldn't take more than 15 minutes. But if you get stuck at all, we're always on hand to help. So once you submit that application, a credit report is requested immediately. And once this has been accepted, we can then check the details and the supporting documentation that's been submitted within the application, just to make sure everything meets our required criteria. If anything does need amending or we need any further information, we'll drop you an email. Otherwise, the details are sent to our technical team for assessment. This process can provide some comfort for you if the supplier has been perhaps somewhat ambitious with the projections. Our engineers will spot that. Their recommendation is then approved, and we send you an unconditional offer in the form of a loan agreement. As we don't support any retrospective offers or projects, we do ask that you wait until you have this agreement before you place an order with your supplier. Then, once you return the agreement completed, we can get to you with 30% of the offer as a deposit, and then the balance on commissioning once we've got the commissioning documents. I'd like to just run through a couple of case studies to show how this works. The first is a lighting upgrade at a plastics company. A simple project, just changing metal halide for LED equivalent, with a loan of just over £31,000. This was repaid over 3 years in equal monthly instalments, and it worked out just less than the expected savings, making it cash positive from the outset. Once the loan was repaid, the company then benefited from almost £13,000 a year from making the switch. This next case study was for an injection moulding machine upgrade, taking £400,000 from the loan scheme. This company was able to replace 3 aged machines with 1 new one, which met their requirements more efficiently. Again, cash positive from the outset. Once the loan was repaid, the business enjoyed savings of almost £140,000 a year. So hopefully some of those headline figures have caught your attention and you're already thinking about what you're going to spend the savings on. We have £5 million available today, with more coming in every month in repayments. You can apply when it suits you, and our team here in Belfast are able to support you through that application process. We can get to offer in less than 10 days with all the documentation, often less, and we have offered in just 24 hours before with all the information in with the application. These savings, as I said, are sense checked by our experienced team of chartered engineers, and that offers an independent and impartial review of your proposed project. So if you're still waiting for the catch, well, there isn't one. It may sound too good to be true, and we do hear that all the time, but the facts are the funding is interest-free, it's unsecured, we don't charge you any arrangement fees, There are no penalties for any early repayment if you wanted to settle the loan early. You can have up to £400,000 outstanding at any one time, and you can apply as many times as you wish, subject to state aid regulations. We operate under something called the de minimis state aid regulations, which means there are some sectors of industry that we can't help. Primarily that would be agriculture and horticulture. Anybody who's growing something or killing something for first sale, we tend not to be able to support. But give us a call if you're not sure. In most cases, the energy savings will meet the monthly repayments. That's how we like to structure the loans. And the projected energy savings for every project are reviewed, and it gives you that confidence in the project's viability. You can apply online today, any day, and we are here to help Monday to Friday from 9 till 5. So these are the contact details that you need to get us here in Belfast. Any queries that you have can be put through to loans@carbontrust.com. The details on the loan scheme and how to apply can be found on our website, which is carbontrust.com/NI. We are always help. Myself and Linda are always here on the end of the phone to help you with any questions, and we are happy to help you. If you have any questions now, please pop them through. Thank you.
Do you have a list of qualifiable projects that funding can be granted for?
We can literally provide funds for anything that generates an on-site fossil fuel use saving. So things like changing the lighting, anything that's going to reduce your electricity drawdown, anything that's going to reduce your oil or gas usage or diesel usage, and the savings have to be made on site. Typical ones, as I said, were lighting, heating, refrigeration, motors and drives, things like that, renewable projects. But in the past, we actually funded the building of a shed because there was a company that was using aggregate in its production process. That aggregate was stored outside, so it was getting wet. They had to dry it with electric heaters before it could go into the process. So by providing funds to build that shed, it eliminated the use of the electric heaters and therefore reduced their on-site electricity use. So, while some of the standard technologies offer savings naturally with newer, more efficient equipment, sometimes thinking outside the box can help as well.
There's also a question, what about upgrading or replacing an office building?
No, if you are doing any sort of refurb on a fixed site, so you're already there and you just want to update what you've got already, yes, we can help. If you are moving to a new site and a refurb is going to take place as part of that relocation, we can't help. So it's on the existing site. Any refurbishments that you want to do on an existing site where you've had a use, we can certainly have a look at and help with.
Do we need to show a plan of the project for application?
No, we just need to know what you're doing. So if you are changing your lights, we would just want to know what you're putting in terms of fittings and what your current use is and what your projected use is. We don't need to go into a project plan. The offers themselves are valid for 3 months. So we would usually ask if you could complete it within that time. If for any reason your project is going to take a little bit longer than that, if it's a more in-depth project, we can extend the offer. That's not a problem. But we don't need to know the ins and outs of the project. We just need to know what you're going to do as a headline and who you're going to do it with and the quotation and the energy savings associated with it.
Perfect. So I think that's all the questions for today's session. So thank you everyone for attending today's webinar, an introduction to the 0% APR energy efficiency loan scheme in Northern Ireland for prospective applicants. If you have any other questions, please contact loans@carbontrust.com. You will also receive a follow-up email within 24 to 48 hours with a link to view a recording of today's webinar. On behalf of the Carbon Trust and our presenter, thank you for joining us today and enjoy the rest of your day.